Okay. I think I should be live. I should be live. Let me know if you all are hearing me. Let me know if you all are here. I know it's been a while. I know it has been saying it. Might be getting an echo here. Let me know if you all are hearing me. Throw a one in the chat if you can hear me. Throw a one in the chat if you all can hear me. I know it's been forever, hasn't it? It has been forever. Man, I've been busy. Man, I have been busy. Busy. Let me know if you all. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what's going on. Okay. Welcome. Octavius, welcome. Thank you for coming through, man. Thank you for coming through. Appreciate you being here. Let me see if all my things are there. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming through. Let's see who else is in the building. This is here. You're glad to see you too, man. Absolutely. Glad to see you too. Yeah, it's been a minute. I probably won't be here with you all for long. Yeah, like I said, it's glad to see you too, man, for sure. But want to kind of hit on a couple of things, kind of, look at an update of what's kind of been happening with me, what's been going on, what's been occurring, why I've been kind of took a little step away. Not intentionally, but things just start adding up, man. Things just start adding up in life, especially with work. So like I mentioned, a lot of times, as it says, even in a little title thing there, it says cybersecurity consulting manager. So consulting has ebbs and flows to it, right? In many cases, you can be extremely busy at one time, but in other cases, you can be not as busy. Yeah, I didn't hit one of those super busy times. What's up, casual economist? Welcome. Thank you for coming through. Yeah, thank you for coming through. You said miss your struggle. I miss struggling here with you guys too. I miss being here and struggling with you guys, man. So but thank you for coming through. Let me just go ahead and hit the joint, the intro, and then we can get into it, and I'll update you all on what's been going on. Welcome to Struggle Security. We are normalizing struggling in cybersecurity. I've not been here with you all for a while, but today we are looking at kind of jumping back into it and me to give a little update of what's been going on. So I kind of have a little bit of a list of things that I want to cover with you all. I wanted to start with the first one. One of the things that I've been up to definitely has been getting more involved with my incident response practice within my firm. So incident response, right? So this is what happens when companies get hacked. So I work for a technology consulting firm. And what happens is that we sell things called incident response retainers. Think of like lawyers. So lawyers, in many times, they are hired for retainer services. This means that people, organizations, have lawyers on retainer just in the event or in the case of legal type of advice, legal type of actions, or maybe even just full out stepping into a court case of some sort. Organization I work for and I'm heavily involved with, we have incident response retainers with many customers, many people all around the world. It's a global practice. So it's very involved, and we sell retainers on a regular basis. Seeing some other people jumping in here. Salute Wired Dog. Thank you for coming through. As always. Yeah, man. Missed everybody. Yeah. Thanks. It's kind of momentarily. I want to check in with you all for sure. So, like I was mentioning, I've been getting more and heavily involved with our incident response practice. So, because we have retainer clients, we have a certain SLAs or service level agreements, meaning that we have to respond. So, in the service level agreement, we have certain things that we need to do. We need to respond to these organizations when they reach out to us within a certain period of time, because they have already paid a retainer fee. So I think we have, several hours or so before we have to respond to them in their request. And this can go from anything, right? They can reach out to us and say, hey, we have been hacked. This is the evidence. We want to set up a call, type of thing. Or it can be a situation where they might want to reach a certain individual and trying to get in contact for some type of incident response preparedness services. You name it. They can kind of reach out to us for a plethora of things, or if they want to replace some of their incident response retainer hours for other services like threat hunting or incident response playbooks or some type of training activities. It's a lot of different things. There's a lot of flexibility within that retainer service. But I specifically was on call. I was on call for our retainer clients. And this means that when our retainer clients call, I'm the first person to respond to whether their emails or their phones or the texts or any type of communications. So what happens is that they send an email to our hotline, and our hotline sends that email directly to me. Now, again, like I mentioned, this is a global practice, but this is more for the US side. So I have to respond to them with a certain script to let them know, like, hey, what's the issue? What's kind of going on? And I need to make the decision whether we need to organize a triage call. And this means like an initial call with the customer to really understand the scope of what they're asking for or what they're going through. Now, these calls might start off as something to say like a exploration thing, or it can turn into a full out instant response engagement where I have to think about resourcing, right? Bringing in the right people in order to address this customer's issue. So I was on call maybe a couple of weeks ago, two or 3 weeks ago, and that was an extremely involved process. Probably just when I had kind of stepped away is when I had went on call for incident response. So that was busy. So it's like an 8-hour shift, and I respond to all these we call inbound calls. And I don't know, have you all had experience with that, doing incident response type of retainer response type of stuff? For those who don't know, it can be super duper involved. So, and times I can just be the person organizing the calls or organizing the communications and doing the resourcing, or I can be the responding. And in this case, I had got into a couple of incidents that I was one of the responders for. So then you have to set up different infrastructure, right, to be able to get certain data and art and different agents and get all the forensic stuff and the network stuff in order to be able to evaluate the incident, evaluate the hack. So, you know, it can be very crazy. It can get very crazy in a very short period of time. So that's one thing that I was doing. Any questions? You guys have any questions? Wire Dog, you said I have dealt with IR retainers, but have never been an org that provide the service. Yeah, the service is crazy, right? And there are many different types of roles, and I think that probably the most common one in many cases is that people work in SOCs, right? Security Operation Centers, where they're typically like the first line of defense for an incident. So say, for instance, you are working as a security analyst, you're working in a security operations center, you might get some alerts from an EDR or endpoint detection type of tool, or you might get alerts from your Splunk instance, your SIEM, your security incident event management system, right? Or you might get alerts from, I don't know, a person that says that, hey, I got a ransom note on my desktop, and I don't know what to do with this. They might have ransomware in their computer. So within organizations, those SOC people are the first people who find out about it. Now, a lot of organizations, they don't have the correct resources and people to be able to actually respond to it, doing digital forensic investigations or malware reverse engineering or network assessment to understand if there's some type of command and control or data exfiltration happening. Most organizations don't have that internal capability. And that's where these retainer services come from. They hire a specialized group, in many cases, consultants. They hire a specialized group of consultants to be able to come into their environment and to not only be able to respond, but also to eradicate and give recommendations on how to improve their posture. So yeah, it's a lot involved there. So any questions? You guys have any questions on any of that? And let me see something else that happens there. Let me give you a little purview into that. One thing that we do collect different artifacts, right? Forensic artifacts or network artifacts. One thing that we do collect, especially within industrial environments for incident response, is that of packet captures, PCAPs, right? For those who don't understand what PCAPs are, they're pretty much all of the network communications between all your servers, your laptops, your desktops, all of your cloud infrastructures. PCAPs will give you a view into all the conversations happening within your organization, right? That's what's happening there. So within industrial organizations, that's one piece of artifact that we want to have. We want to do a packet capture analysis, some type of packet capture assessment to really understand. And one thing that packet captures will give you a view on, especially when you're looking at what you call north-south traffic, or traffic that's going from inside your network to the internet. One thing that you'll be able to see if there is any command and control activity occurring, which means that stuff from inside the organization is communicating to a malicious party outside the organization. And this might look like large amounts of data transfers through maybe HTTP, right? Hypertext Transfer Protocol, or DNS, Domain Name Service Protocol. Sometimes they even are able to establish command and control activities through ICMP, right? Pings that might look like it's just regular pings going in and out, but sometimes it can be a command and control tunnel or a command and control channel. So a packet capture will be able to show you that, hey, what's happening there, or even lateral movement. You might see different accounts being utilized, or different hosts being utilized to do different scanning activities. If you're seeing one host that is talking to another host, and there's a whole bunch of ports that are attempting to be accessed, you might see something, because automated scanning tools, things like Nmap, it's very loud on the network. It's very loud, and it's very obvious to what Nmap is doing. You can easily identify from a packet capture whether there's an Nmap scan happening, because it'll just cycle through different ports, like port 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? It'll just keep on going when people fire off like that default Nmap scan on a host. So that will be very visible, where people aren't typically doing Nmap scans within organizations or within networks. So those are some things that happen there. Okay, I'm seeing some other people coming through. Professor Black Ops, welcome. Welcome to the chat. Thank you for being here. He says, facts. I work for a large state agency, didn't have IR resources. They have retainers. Absolutely. In many cases, organizations have retainers because that specialized skill set is it's not extremely common within organizations, because what's happening is that people who work in SOCs or security engineers for organizations, they're mainly focusing on process, procedures, people, security hygiene. They're not really equipped to be able to just switch from the day-to-day operations to a deep level of forensic and incident response analysis on the network. So that's one thing that's very common. Wardog said, from my experience, we SOC internal IR team. Yep, internal IR team respond to an incident, but the retainer would do the digital forensic aspect. Yeah, there can be some shared responsibility and some shared activities there. So yes, so internal SOC teams would a lot of times respond to the incident. Will be first, right? So you all might go ahead and start to do application, like you might do some application blacklisting. You might notice that certain executables or certain applications are running that shouldn't be running on hosts, or you all might start to block different domains. So if you're noticing that something is communicating, so an automated SIM tool might be able to tell you, hey, the alert might say, hey, this internal server is speaking to a known malicious Chinese domain. And the internal SOC team might go ahead and block that IP address or block that domain from communicating anywhere within the network. Or you might do things, you might notice some different ports and processes and services that are occurring within the network that you know that are identified as malicious. You might go ahead and block it at the firewall. So there are a lot of things, a lot of shared responsibilities there. For many of our customers, we do it all, right? We do it all. We give the recommendations. We might even go in and do the managed services type of things. So yeah. Salute Black Ops. Everybody saying hello. Wire PCAP's good to analyze the industrial environments. So that's an extremely good question. So within industrial environments, one thing that's very different than between industrial and enterprise environments is that production industrial environments need to stay running in order for the money to continuously be made, or there might be safety concerns involved. So think about it, right? If you're talking about, say, for instance, Ford Motor Company, they have an assembly line going, they have a schedule for certain engines to come off the line, for certain vehicles to be able to be assembled at a certain time. So many times those processes and procedures that are run by computers, it's extremely integral to to the business of that organization. So PCAPs is a passive way to be able, or taking PCAPs from a network is a passive way to be able to understand what activity is happening on a network without interrupting the processes and procedures, like an assembly line, like a oil and gas plant, right? Many times, if you're trying to take a forensic image, it might, from a host, it might cause the CPU cycles to be able to increase on that machine, which might cause it to go down, or there might be some type of interruption to the production line. So PCAPs is a nice passive way to be able to understand what's happening on the network without affecting industrial processes. So yeah, specifically industrial environments. Hopefully that answered your question. There's an old saying, PCAP or it didn't happen. Because that's the thing too, right? Because with PCAPs, you cannot, like bad guys in many cases can, I guess, clean up their tracks. So think about somebody who broke into a home or broke into your house. They can kind of pull up a window, but they can dust off their prints from when they touch the window if it was already open. They can get in there. They can walk very slowly and quietly, right, to be able to be undetected. But then even as they're leaving, they can kind of dust off prints and dust off any artifacts or any evidences of them even being there. So you can do that on many Windows machines, Mac machines, Linux machines. You can cover your tracks. But on the network communications, where, especially if you're talking about an Active Directory environment, it's very difficult to be able to cover up all of your tracks. And many of what happened, just as if Wired Dog is saying, PCAP or it didn't happen, what happened, it's very difficult to not only dust off your tracks for that one host, but also for entire communications happening on the network. No, it's way more difficult. It captures all of those conversations. Think of, like, right, an elephant-sized ear listening to a conversation, right? It's very difficult to not be able to hear all the things happening. And that's what PCAP gives you there. Seven Scientists, welcome, man. Welcome, man. Thank you for coming through. You said, yo, hello, everyone. Yeah, welcome. Yo, Wired Dog, everybody saying hello and salutations. So PCAPs are the best source for IOCs. No, I wouldn't say PCAPs are the best source. No, PCAPs give visibility into a network without, I would say, affecting processes immediately. Because in many cases, if you're trying to take a forensic image off a machine, that machine might have to go down. Or that machine might need to install a certain agent on it in order for it to collect what it needs to collect. So I would not say that PCAPs is the best source for IOCs. No. So it's IOCs, for those who don't know, stands for indicators of compromise. One thing that so like I was mentioning before, it can show several things. It can show communications between different hosts. It can also show data exfiltration, communications to malicious domains, right, on the internet. It can also show, what else can it show? Scanning activities. I think one thing that PCAPs can show is that, hey, what area do I need to focus in more? What areas do I need to focus in more? So I think it's definitely a very good starting point. Because so for one incident response I just did, so actually I did a compromise assessment for I'm still doing it. We're doing a compromise assessment for a Malaysian customer, and we start off with the PCAPs to be able to understand what devices do we want to focus in on in order to do further forensic and incident response analysis on. So it gave me pretty much a list of devices that I'm saying, hey, this looks funny. It looks like some funny things are happening here. Let's go ahead and get a deeper look into these devices by taking forensic images and things off of it, whether an image or even taking some PowerShell, using PowerShell scripts to gather some information, or looking at different hives, right? Or looking at the looking at different registry locations. That'll all give way more of a deeper understanding of what's happening on that device. So WireDog said, if you want to practice peek, yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, malware traffic analysis. I know another tool that I use that I love. So malware traffic analysis, those will give you scenarios to practice with. Actually, maybe we can go to that website. Let's go. Malware traffic analysis. I can show you all a couple of things. I already got that thing saved. Let's see. I think I've shown it on here before too. Yeah, thanks for sharing that, WireDog. Let me go ahead and share that. Let's see. I don't want to share audio. Okay, we'll just share this. So this is the malware traffic analysis website here. This is the one that WireDog was talking about. Let me make this a little larger for you all. Okay, I can zoom in a little bit here. Okay, this is the malware traffic analysis website, and they have things like traffic analysis exercises, which are real. Actually, let me make this larger. And should I take myself out of it? No, this is okay. This is okay. I wonder why it looks so small. Is it my background? No, I don't want to be that large. Okay, I think this is what I'm looking for. Okay, I just put myself down here. No worries. Okay, so here, as you see, a source for packet capture of PCAP files and malware samples. Since the summer 2013, the site has published over 2,200 blog entries about malicious network traffic. Almost every post on this site has PCAP files or malware samples or both. So that's the thing about it, right? You don't want to, you wouldn't run this in your regular environment, these PCAPs, or download these PCAPs, because some of them actually has live malware or malware on it. So your organization might flag you. And that's actually happened before. Somebody was at an organization I was with. They had downloaded some PCAPs, or they had downloaded some type of malicious stuff onto a work machine. I was like, yo, what are you doing? And all of a sudden, the big bag SOC guys, WireDog and them, rolled up on them and said, hey, let me get that computer. Okay, so these are the traffic analysis exercises. Let's just look at the conception of one of them. So this one is finding GOSI. I don't know what that stands for. Okay, they have, okay, this is by Unit 4. Okay, so Unit 42, as you see here, is Palo Alto's incident response unit, and they are lit. Yo, I actually almost worked for them a little while ago, but I chose otherwise because I don't want to do incident response as a full-time thing, because you won't have a life if you do IR. I'm just telling you straight up. Anyway, they're the one that put out this most recent one, which is super dope. I didn't know they had a partnership with. They might own it, actually. So here they start off with an executive summary. The March 2023 Unit 42 Wireshark quiz laid out a scenario based on the GOSI, and this is probably some known type of malware activity. Readers who work through the quiz gain experience of PCAP analysis, as well as looking at GOSI post-infection traffic. And that's what happens a lot of times. We get, when you're looking at PCAPs from an incident response perspective, you're getting post-incident traffic. Unless the organization was already capturing PCAPs, which isn't very common because PCAPs take up a lot of room. So I know that it's been situations where I would be collecting PCAPs from a network for maybe an hour or so, and it'd be 3 or 4 or 5 gigs. Some is even more. So doing analysis on 4 or 5 gigs of network traffic, it can be very slow. And for organizations, they're not keeping that. They're not keeping that data, or they're not storing it for long periods of time. So that's that. So it starts off with the executive summary, gives you the background, and it tells you what you need to get familiar with. And Wireshark typically is the tool that you'll be using to do a lot of this analysis. So this is a place where you can practice it. So it'll give even the quiz answers, and kind of just going into what it looks like when you are assessing an environment and for incidents. So they even give you different LAN segments, which is real. Listen, this is super. Should I download this and go through? I might go through this another time with you all. But this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool because the thing about practicing these type of techniques and these type of things is because we actually do it in the real world. Like I mentioned, we were doing, like I was on call, and that's something that we would collect from an organization as we are doing incident response, as we are addressing their incidents and their hacks. So practicing things like packet capture analysis is extremely important to you if you're trying to get into cybersecurity or trying to, I guess, diversify your skills. Doing packet capture analysis is something that's very common within cybersecurity, especially within incident response. So just wanted to share that with you. Let's see who else. I'm seeing other people jumping in here. Spiritual Logic, welcome, man. Thank you for coming through. Man. Absolutely. Yeah, we just going over what's been going on. Thank you for coming through, man. Absolutely. Okay, let's see what you all have been saying. PCAST, we already talked about that. We just went over the malware traffic analysis. Check out that link that WireDog has put in there if you want more information about doing some of those investigations and network traffic analysis and even tools. So I know that they mentioned Wireshark, but probably my favorite one is right now is Brim. Have you all ever heard of Brim before? Let me see. Can you even download Brim still? Traffic. Let me see if I can get Brim. Oh yeah, Brim. Okay, it's here. And there's also a Try Hack Me room for Brim. And Brim also allows you to do packet analysis. And it's actually faster. It's actually faster than Wireshark. And you can also run it through different things like Suricata and Zeek. And those are some network traffic analysis type of tools. And Brim is lit. And I think that they did something called Zooey. I don't know. I'm not really rocking with Zooey but Brim. Here, I'm gonna throw this in there for those who might want to know. This is another tool that you can use for doing some of this packet capture analysis. Like I haven't even upgraded my Brim to Zooey. I just use Brim like straight. I use Brim straight. Okay, Savage Scientist says, yes, in my thesis is on gathering forensic evidence. In Windows Action Center, I scan VM memory dumps. Okay, Windows Action Center. So you're utilizing Windows Action Center. I think that's like an addition to Windows Active Directory type of environments. I haven't used Windows Action Center before, so tell me a little bit more about that, Savage Scientist. You just started MSCIA with WGU. What's that? MSCIA. What is MSCIA WGU? I think that's a degree program, a master's. Okay, master's in information assurance. Okay, congrats, man. Absolutely, congrats. Because I've heard very good things about WGU. I think Professor Black Ops has spoken about it. So yeah, definitely congrats. You get a master's degree with for a fraction of the price. For a fraction of the time, but also you're getting a lot of that same good information that will make you marketable and give you a lot of view into cybersecurity. Dope, man. Professor Black Ops, yeah. Professor, he said congrats. Everybody's saying congrats, man. Congrats. He said hello. Let's see who else is here. Hey Gabe, how often do you get into web app hacking? I don't do a lot of the web app hacking. Web app hacking is cool. But a lot of times what people do is that they pretty much just do Burp Suite or they run a tool like SQL Map or something. You can automate a lot of that web app hacking. But maybe it's just because I don't do a whole lot of it. It's not my forte. Like web app hacking and like wireless hacking, that's not really my area. Those aren't really my areas of expertise. I mainly focus on like industrial environments, but also that of like network security or network forensics or network hacking, or even just device hacking and Active Directory stuff, which is way more common in my sphere. So I'm not really trying to get into a whole bunch of web app stuff, because that's when you start to get into your bug bounty stuff. So bug bounty stuff is pretty cool. But yeah, I don't do web app hacking very often. I could do some stuff, but here and there. Welcome, Keep It Techie. Thank you for coming through, man. Thank you for coming. Yeah, man. Yeah. Let's see who else is here. Who else? Yeah, I don't really need it, but the VA is paying the bill. TSSCI just enjoying retirement. That's dope. That's dope. That's interesting, because that kind of brings to a conversation I was having earlier today on YouTube about degrees, right? People were talking about degrees and just getting degrees because just to get degrees, but I don't know. I kind of have a different perspective, and I'm not saying that you're doing anything wrong. It could definitely, you know, with a master's in cybersecurity information assurance, it could definitely make you marketable for maybe a future role that you might have. But I was kind of purporting to the panel that just getting to the degrees without really having a goal of why you're getting the degree. I was telling them, because a lot of people go through the process of getting degrees to kind of stunt. And I'm not saying that you're doing that, but I've read into a lot of people that have done that. They say, I got this degree and that degree. And I remember when I was a part of an organization, it's called NSBE, National Society of Black Engineers, for my undergrad. And they were so telling everybody that once you get your engineering degree, you need to pair it with an MBA, a Master's of Business and Administration, or a Master's of Business Administration. And I just couldn't find the reason, because I'm like, I want to do engineering. And I get it, like you might want some business involved, but do I need to get a whole degree? Do I need to, acquire some more debt in order to, for, I don't know, for bragging rights or for a maybe? So I guess a lot of times when I look at degrees, I think of getting purposeful degrees. Like, okay, I want to get this in order for me to do this other thing. And again, no, like, congrats to you, but it just reminded me of some of the conversation that we were having today. But yeah, definitely congrats to you, man. Yeah, because that TSSCI is pretty much TSSCI with a bachelor's degree and maybe a security plus is literally enough. It's definitely enough. Cyber Scientist says, I was just hired into a job as a DevOps. Okay, DevSecOps, and I'm in training. I just got the ISC CS. Dang, man, you've been busy. CSSLP cert. It's like the CISSP, but focused on software development. Congrats. I remember when you said that you were going to be studying for that cert. So, man, congrats to you, man. DevSecOps is definitely huge. It's definitely huge right now for many organizations, because they want to continually to be able to upgrade, to be able to facilitate their security needs on so many different cycles, right? Because I think DevOps focuses on like continuously improving software in the process of putting out deployments, and it's like a whole methodology to it, from what I understand. So that DevSecOps definitely throw it into there. So, man, congratulations on the new DevSecOps job, and also with the new cert, man. People been stepping away, and people been busy, man. That's what's up. That is what's up. Everybody's saying congrats and congrats and congrats and congrats. Savage Scientist says, I use the volatility framework to process memory dust. Volatility is super popular within digital forensics, right? Because you can take memory and be able to do analysis, like automated analysis on it, with the volatility framework. Windows Action Center is the graphical for the start menu that manages the annoying toast messages. Gotcha. That's what's up. Example, when you plug in your phone, and you would have a pop-up saying, Gabe, Samsung Note. See, listen. We not Samsung people over here. We Mac. Listen, we only do Mac, sir. So we only do Apple, sir. Sorry. So no Samsung. We only do Apples. And listen, we don't do that over here, all right? All right, you got to slow down, because it would never be a game Samsung Note 20. No, but I get you. I keep going with your point. Sorry. A little aside. My research describes the methods to find the evidence in the memory even after dismissing the message. Okay, dope. That's what's up, man. That is what's up. Keep It Techie says, hurry up and get in a job. If you're not, I think the TSSCI expires after a couple of years of not using it in a role. Yeah, that's a biggie. These expiration dates for clearances. I know that I had a secret clearance twice, and the first time it expired like right when I was gonna start a role that required me to have a secret clearance, and then the second one, because it wasn't renewed or because I wasn't using it, it had expired. But that TSSCI is even more so. That's top secret. I forget what SCI stands for, but that is one where not a whole lot of people have that clearance. So yeah, definitely keep it techie. We need to start our own company. I got the DoD connection. And listen. That's a biggie, man. Whew, man, it's so funny. Let me tell you a little bit. Let me tell you a little bit about my mindset. And it's wild, because I guess once you start acquiring life things, I wouldn't say I've slowed down in my ambitions, but I've become much more practical in my ambitions, if that makes sense. So I know, like, several years ago, it was just me and my wife. And even before that, it was just me. My first role that I took contracting, right, it came with like a 7-8 month contract. Maybe I think it went all the way to 10 months. it got extended, I think once, just by a couple of months. But I went from where I was at home in Detroit, and I just up and moved to Charlotte, North Carolina for that opportunity. I got a new apartment, I got everything going on, right? So I was much more flexible to just up and go and just take any opportunity that came in front of me. And then I got married, so then a lot of our choices has started to be like our choices, right? It's me and my wife's choices, it's my family's choices. Working remote really helped out a lot with that because we had a lot more flexibility with the choices that we could make. Whether I know when she was going to school for her nursing masters, I said, listen, you can choose anywhere to go to school that you want. Wherever you get in, we can up and move to that place. So that was pretty cool, and we did end up doing that because I was working remote. Now that we've introduced a baby into our lives, when I think about starting a company, a brand new company, like I'm not saying that I don't want to do that because I already have I have a real estate business, but starting a company and I'm like, oh man, I'm just thinking of more responsibilities, right? So, man, big ups to you on that. Big ups to you on that. If you got that energy, if you got that flexibility in your life, man, big ups to you on that. And even as I was mentioning with like Unit 42 with Palo Alto, I wanted to like do previously. I wanted to do an incident response life, right? Because I was part of a huge incident response engagement at my last firm that really kind of set me up to be able to pretty much, write my ticket for any firm to do incident response that I wanted. But the thing about it is that you're on a plane all the time, right? You're always on the go. You're working crazy hours. Being on call, I was working also weekends. If an incident went over a weekend, this is what the customer pays for, and it's what you have to respond to. So it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. I say that. Savage Psyche says, I agree. WGU is a great lead school. It leads to great certifications. Absolutely. In fact, I worked a while. I got some time to play. Congrats. Talking about the CSSLP. Thanks, Gabe, Josh. I'm like, PBO, I want that bag. Yeah, get that bag, that baggity bag. It's a big cert. Okay. I got you. Man, listen. That's not going to stay there being in DevSecOps. That's not going to stay there at all. So listen. Listen. I always say, I'm not saying that you need to do this, but I always say, always had that resume circling around to different organizations. Always had those opportunities, open, because I know DevSecOps roles right now that would be looking for people with the certifications, with the experience. I mean, just getting a role within DevSecOps is a feat within itself. So I think that you've already made yourself marketable for roles that would surpass your current salary right now, for sure. I'll talk about TSSCI. Having an active clearance saves companies money. Yes, it's expensive to obtain a clearance. Right. DJ Cadillac says it doesn't take much. Okay, you said it doesn't take much. Okay. I'm starting a company. I would help bodies to prime contractors. Okay. Like General Dynamic and Khaki as a small subcontractor, you can even present yourself as a 1099. Yeah, I've been in that life, man. I've been in that 1099 life. So a lot of times because I'm very technical, because I have that technical capability, a lot of times I would be the person that they would be staffing as a 1099 resource. And just dealing with, the prime, the contractor, the subcontractor, kind of working in between there. I even was this is back again, like I was mentioning, I always mention with Professor Blackoffs, those are my stigging days. I used to do stigs and scaps, and I was the person that was ultimately responsible. So for you, right, the owner of that company, you as being the subcontractor to the prime, you're just doing probably project management, or you're just managing what it is that you're getting paid. I was the one doing the work. So you probably would bring in resources to do the work. Or you might do the work yourself. So that 1099 life, I remember that it was more of like I was doing all of the work. And maybe that's my mindset is when I talk about when I'm thinking about like a DoD contracting. So yeah, thanks for giving that perspective for sure. For the people, man, I'm still down to collab on the CISSP. Man, that CISSP is something. LinkedIn helps too. Yeah. I work in the government, and they know for the government. Okay. I used to work for khaki. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, man. Good thing I caught up on the chat. Let me go ahead and hit a couple of more things. Another thing that happened while I was gone, which was pretty dope, which is pretty awesome. Somebody wrote an article about your boy. Somebody wrote an article about me. Somebody wrote an article about me. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. Where is that mug? So last year I had did a talk at several conferences about printers, printers. And I think Wire Dog actually did he did a video on him going through a Try Hack Me room where they were utilizing printers or just hacking printers in general. Here, let me go ahead and share this, and we can go through this. And they wrote this a couple of weeks ago about me. Man, it's crazy. Oh, hold up one second. Salute to all the mods, Blue Rinse crew. Absolutely. Your favorite YouTube channel is here. Appreciate it. Have you ever gotten a job by going to a conference? I have. Now, this was an engineering job, and it was like a couple of internships and co-ops. So I have, because they would do in universities, they would do job fairs. So I went for the NSBE, the National Society of Black Engineers, the national conference. They had a huge career fair. So I had got an internship through one of those, and I think a co-op too. Yeah, man. Try Hack Me is dope. But let me share this, so we can go through this article. We can go through this article here. It's one thing to, like, a lot of times I'll read through or breeze through some articles to just get some information here and there, but it's something else when somebody kind of highlights you. So I had spoke at this conference last year, and then there was like a reporter, I believe is her role, and she found some interest in the work that I was doing and what I had presented at the conference, and she just I guess took it upon herself, and her organization took it upon themselves to go ahead and publish some of the work that I did. So this one says cyber crooks can pose as your printers to steal your stuff. She got a nice cool little graphic. Let me just zoom in here. Terry, which is she's super nice. Terry Tomlinson from Ampere News. She says no one suspects the lowly printer, but cyber attackers can go into stealth mode, hiding in your printer to carry out attacks against you, according to a cybersecurity researcher. Here's how the hack works. So she has a YouTube video, and we can go through that just a little bit after this, but we're going to go over this. Visible and invisible. She says your own printer turned against you. In January, attackers made printers push out ransom notes, demanding money at the Royal Mail Post and Delivery Service in the United Kingdom. Pay up, or they'll reveal all the sensitive data the note threatened. So this was just an example, and then this is let's talk about let's just get into it. It says just think of a printer with a mouth with a lot of sharp teeth in it. That's the visual that I think of, said Gabriel Agrucci. That is me, cybersecurity manager with Accenture, who acts printers to show you how to protect your own. So I think that she gets into kind of some of the back and forth that we have. She says the attacker in printer's clothes could first steal what you've printed before, like bank account information, taxes, medical documents at home, and crucial company data at work. There's print jobs within printers. That's something that I said. He said a lot of times they're cached or stored on the printer. So if you can gain a certain level of access to printers, you can see past print jobs that might have critical and sensitive information about them. Let me go ahead and put this link for your, just in case I'm reading too slow or you all want to access this later. I'm gonna throw the link in the chat for you all to be able to view it yourselves. But yeah, it's pretty dope. Let's see. I'll go over the what to do piece a little bit. Let's see. Okay, what to do. It says first change the. Okay, so this actually goes into the hack, and maybe that's something that I want to do too. That's something that I might want to do. Go through that whole presentation on one of these live streams, because it's really cool. It's really cool. The whole printer, and the thing about it, not only is it cool. One thing about it is that it's quiet. So when you talk about penetration testing versus red teaming, it's very let me see how quiet it is. I think that if you're doing regular monitoring, it's a little bit more difficult in order to hide that activity, because I use a couple of tools that No, it's quiet. It's quiet. It's definitely quiet. It's definitely quiet. It's definitely quiet. Because I'm thinking of the tools that I would use, and yeah, it's definitely way quieter than doing like an nmap scan on the network or doing something like a crap map exec type of password spray or something, right? So, let's just go ahead and take a look at her video because actually it's a YouTube video that she has. Let's see. Let me pull this up on YouTube. Oh, yeah, it's cool. It's just like a little 3-minute video. Go ahead and maximize that. And we can take a look at this really quickly whenever I get it. Okay. And the audio should be good. So let's go ahead and listen to this.
Sometimes it seems like your printer has a mind of its own. And in this case, it really does. A cybersecurity researcher is alerting people that attackers can pose as your printer, going into stealth mode, stealing your things and moving on to bigger attacks that can take you down. Here's how it works and what you can do to stop it. Attackers have used printers as messengers, pushing out ransom notes, like this attack in January at the Royal Mail Postal and Delivery Service in the UK. Pay up, or we reveal all the sensitive info we've stolen and scrambled. Last year, it was this ransom note spewing from printers on a government network in the US. These attacks are flashy, made to be seen. But a researcher is warning that attackers can instead go undercover, pretending to be your printer and carrying out crimes under our noses.
Just think of a printer with a mouth with a lot of sharp teeth in it. That's the visual that I think of.
Cybersecurity manager Gabriel Agbarucci hacks printers for research to show you how to protect your own.
Oh boy.
He says the attacker in printer's clothing could first steal info from what you've printed before. That could be bank info, taxes, or medical documents at home, also crucial company data at work.
There's print jobs within printers, right? A lot of times they're cached or stored on to the printer. So if you gain a certain level of access on the printers, you can see past print jobs that might have critical and sensitive information about that organization.
Then they could map out the network to see what else to steal, especially good for business and industrial networks. Plus, they could use a special tactic to uncover passwords for other people's accounts, especially those people with the best access to critical things. After that, it can be big attacks like ransomware, holding files hostage for money, shutting down systems in companies, hospitals, and schools.
So it can get kind of hairy pretty fast.
Best of all for the attacker, the paper-pushing disguise covers their tracks because no one suspects the lowly printer.
What happens many times is that people are not monitoring the activities of printers.
Right.
Like, printers are low-level assets. They're not really doing anything.
Luckily, there are things you can do to help stop them, Gabriel says. Number 1, change the default password on the printer, the one that came with it when you got it, or attackers can walk right in at home or at work.
Thanks.
Changing that will allow most organizations to not be compromised in the ways that I'm talking about, because most printers have default credentials on them.
Why? We often just don't think about it.
The focus on these printers is not about the security of it, but rather it is about the operations. Can people print? Can people scan? Can people do what people do with printers?
He suggests monitoring printers more in a work situation, limiting access at work so not just anyone from anywhere can print, making passwords stronger overall so evil printers can't launch larger attacks as easily. Also, he says, clear past print jobs at work and at home so they don't give away your sensitive stuff to a fake printer with sharp, nasty teeth. So how do you change the default password on your printer? Different brands do it different ways. So your best bet is to do a search. How do I change the default password on my fill-in-the-blank brand printer? And follow those steps. In Cabo, Mexico, I'm Carrie Tomlinson for Ampere News.
Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. Yeah, man, that just went from one idea or one thing that I did at a conference or one thing that I spoke about at a conference, and it turned into article and a YouTube video, which is pretty cool. And, you know, I think that that's one thing that I think is really good is that we need to put ourselves out there, right? We need to put ourselves out there as professionals so that we can get, I guess, that acknowledgement for the work that we do. we can show that, hey, it's not just one type of person that's working in these particular types of groups. And yeah, so I think that's really cool. And the link there, I posted it a couple of times. Savage Scientist posted it if you guys are interested in more. She even posted the original video. And I think that's probably what I'll do in the next one, in the next live stream, is show that PowerPoint presentation or that presentation that I did for those conferences and go kind of through that step by step with you all. So yeah, man, pretty cool. Yeah, it is dope, man. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's Gabe, have you heard of Black Hills Information Security putting out a pay what you can? Yes, absolutely. We have talked about that on here. So I think that we did like a free resource type of live stream. I don't know which one that is, but yes, they have a lot of pay what you can type of things. So we did like a free version, pay very little version, and things that are more that cost a little more. So yes, we did cover that. Black Hills Information Security, fair use. No, she cool. She ain't gonna flag me. It's me. It's my face. So fair use. You laughing at me, Savage Scientist? Yeah, man. I gotta do what I gotta do. He says, oh yeah, DJ Kelly, make sure you set up the organization. Okay, you all are giving some advice out there. Yes, Anti-Siphon, that is the website. If you guys are interested, that's the pay what you can thing that Clyde was talking about there. So you can go on that website to get very minimal prices. And a lot of times these individuals are past SANS instructors. So when you talk about SANS, you talk about these $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 certification trainings and exam. And you will not be paying half of that for these trainings that they have offered here. They start their own organization called Black Hills Cybersecurity, and they offer these type of trainings through this Anti-Siphon website. So take a look at that. Clyde, how about those printers that have hard drives in them? That's what's being hacked a lot of times, is the hard drive. So network connected printers are this focus here. Are definitely the focus there. You talk about a STIG, man. Get out of here, man. The STIG ain't gonna do nothing for you. Not when I'm in your network. STIG ain't gonna do nothing for you when I'm around. Okay, I'm getting that printer. Yes, and printer exploitation too. Also, WireDog, post your video of when you did that. I was looking for it just now. You did the Try Hack Me room, and it has the printer exploitation toolkit and all of that in it. I think the one that I did was a bit more. It's a bit less skilled, and it's because I think with actually, let me take a look at that. We can take a look at that. The printer exploitation toolkit. Take a look at that one really quickly. Oh, I was already in here. Okay, let's take a look at this. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Let me see if there's any other questions or anything in here. Jogo Security, man, get that out of here, man. And I'm about to time you out for STIG. I never want to see another STIG in my life. Okay, I'm about to make like a chat room filter for any, people make chat room filters on YouTube for people saying derogatory things. STIG viewer, all that is derogatory. It's derogatory over here. All that's derogatory over here. That's derogatory over here. Like WireDog. Like I mentioned, this is WireDog's video where he goes into a Try Hack Me room and he goes step by step on some of the things that are in there. But no, STIG, no, see, nah, see, people about to listen. I'm about to put that in the thing. I'm about to make STIG a word that's banned. Like you can't even type it in the chat. That's blasphemy over here. I'm never doing the STIG. I was laughing at the pic picture with the man. Why you trying to clown me? Why, you can roast. We can cyber roast. We can cyber roast, man. We can do that. Okay. He says, I'm rolling level 4. Okay. But we're not doing STIGs over here. Nah, we ain't doing that. The timeout. Yeah. We're going to time out all stiggers. If you repping STIG, listen, this is not the STIG side. All right. This is not the STIG side. We anti-STIG over here. We anti-STIG. Timeout. Yeah. Don't block. Yeah, I'm blocking STIGs. Yeah, I'm doing that. I got trauma. It's here. It's still with me. I still got residual trauma from those STIGs. The time I spent away from my family. It was them STIGs, man. Listen, Listen, it was them Stigs. Listen,
Kind of struggling a little bit.
man, I was using the Stigs. Man, it's nightmares. I still had nightmares about Stigs. But back to the printer stuff. This is the GitHub that WireDog threw down in there. This is the GitHub that WireDog threw. Let's go into this. It ain't funny, man. It's those Stigs. I'm still hurting. Okay. So this is a GitHub repository. Let me zoom in here for printer. It's like a printer exploitation toolkit. It says, is your printer secure? Check before someone else does. PRET is a new tool for printer security testing developed in the scope of a master's thesis at Rural University in Bochum. It connects to a device via network or USB, and it exploits the features of a GitHub printer language. Okay, because printers speak a certain network communication. Well, let's see, PostScript, PJM, PCL. I don't think these are the network communications. This is something else. This is like, I guess this is probably the code that is written in or something. Are supported, which is spoken by most laser. Maybe it is the communication protocols. This allows cool stuff like capturing or manipulating print job. Okay, this is getting like a root. This is getting like root access to printers, which is interesting. Okay. Accessing the printer's file system and memory. Okay. So let me just give you a little overview of the one that I do, because theirs is a bit more deep. It's a bit more, they're actually exploiting the printers. I don't, in the attack that I went over, I don't exploit the printers. I don't get access to the file systems or the memory. I get the credentials to printers, because just like anybody's, so the thing about printers, especially network connected printers, because think about it, you work for an organization, and if you're able to just access any printer on the network, you're able to just click and walk up to that printer and get it, which means, especially within an Active Directory environment, that's an asset, or that's a host on the network, which means that if it's a host on the network, especially in the Active Directory environment, it has a username and password. It has credentials associated with that device. So the attack that I go over is the one where you're actually stealing the credentials of the printer in order to carry out further attacks. Because in many cases, especially when you're talking about red teaming or internal pen testing, all you need is low-level credentials. You can start off as nothing. And with some printer credentials, you can elevate privileges to become domain admin. Hold up. Y'all still talk about these? Y'all still talk about these things? Y'all still talk about these fit? Ain't nothing funny about it. Hey, bro, thanks for the lie. Anytime, man. Anytime. Boy Sankara. Yeah. Welcome. Stigs broke our guy. Yeah, man. They broke me down, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, they broke me down. Yeah, never again. Listen, I'm about to ban it. Stigs will make you start. See, I'm about to ban it in the chat. Watch. You watch. Next time y'all jump in the chat, y'all be like, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ban it, and the next time I'm gonna be like, oh, let's have a discussion about Stigs. Tell me about your experience. Y'all gonna try to type it in the chat, and y'all not gonna know. Y'all ain't gonna have no idea. Y'all gonna have no idea that it is blocked. White Dog says, I was at CyberSec Talk one time, and the pen tester was talking about how he was able to capture domain creds from a printer. Domain admin account was logged there. Boom, right? Now, I never got domain admin. I never got domain admin creds. I did get domain creds, and I was able to elevate privileges. Let's see, they capture domain admin creds from a printer. Ooh, I don't know how you would do that. Let's see, domain admin creds. Domain admin account was logged into the. Okay, I guess if it was logged into the, that must have had to be a pretty sophisticated printer in order for somebody to. Well, I guess if you're able to get into the memory, yeah, you can do a memory dump. I don't know why a domain admin will be logged into a printer. Maybe like an ad. I don't know why anybody would be logged into a print, like actively log into a printer. And many times you would have domain admins logged into systems like domain controllers or application servers or maybe web servers, because they might be doing some upgrades to it, or they might need to have some type of, they might, I don't know, patching or something. They might have an active session via, which I love, is via RDP. If they have an active session, the main admin has an active session via RDP. That's beautiful. But I haven't seen very often that a domain admin was logged into a printer. That would be dope to see. If you got the link for that, let me know, man. And Lowcast, our resident, who is he? Who should we consider Lowcast? Lowcast is like, He has a criminal hacker mind. I remember one time he was in the chat and we was just talking to something. I think he was talking about like flipper zeros or something, and he was just coming up with all these malicious uses for the flipper zero or all these hacking tools. And I think I don't know. He's somebody that we always got to look out for. But welcome, Locast. Welcome to the chat, man. Welcome to the chat. Thank you for being here. Yeah, he definitely our resident cyber Pookie. There we go. Resident hacker, cyber hacker Pookie. That's Locast. Welcome, Locast, man. Happy for you to be here. Hey, bro, I'm closing 10 years in IT. I recently had an undergrad at my community college for a cybersecurity, like a cybersecurity degree is what I'm understanding. I was lucky to be offered a position at my current work, wondering if I should go for the CISSP. Maybe. Now, if you have 10 years of experience, you definitely meet that experience threshold or that experience requirement to be able to sit for the CISSP, because I think you only need like 5 years of IT experience. So you're very much so right there. I would also ask, what do you aspire to be? If you aspire to kind of go into management or kind of have like maybe even within consulting as like a manager or a senior manager or director, or even if you're looking at director or chief information security officer roles, more of, I would say, leadership roles within cybersecurity, a CISSP would very much so lend you well, right? When you see on LinkedIn, when you see for those roles, a lot of times CISSP is one of those requirements. You already have the years of experience. You already have the degree. You already have the working experience. Looks like maybe CISSP is within your wheelhouse to obtain. So I would say go for it, man. Go for it. Yeah, I believe he captured NTLM hash via Responder. So now Responder is capturing the NTLM hash on the network. So he might have been talking to the printer. Yeah, but I don't know if he got it directly from the printer. But yeah, Responder will give you NTLM hash for sure for a domain admin if that admin is around. So it's funny because when I'm doing internal pen tests, I'm running Responder in the mornings, right, early in the mornings, and I'm running it right after lunch, right? So anytime I'm asking questions like, when is everybody going to lunch? Because that's when domain admins might be coming into the and logging into the system. They're coming to the organization, or they're just coming back from lunch. So you have to be very, intentional on when you're trying to find password hashes when those things are running across the network. Half the mods about to be black. Yeah. Half of y'all about to be black talking about stigs. We ain't sticking over here. We're not sticking over here. Okay, let's see. Boys, you need 5. Yep, there we go. Only 5 years of experience. And he said he has 10. So he is right there. He is more than double. There was a test connection option in the setting. He changed the test server. Listen, wait. That's similar to what I've done. That's similar to, maybe I should just go through it. It's gonna take a minute for me to go through the attack from beginning to end. Let's take a little bit more of a look at this here, and I'll think about it. I'll think about going through it, maybe. Okay, hacker printer. The main idea for printers facilitate communication between end-to-end printers. Yeah, this is hacking into. Yeah, this is getting into, like you mentioned, the memory of that machine and the file systems and everything. So this is like a little diagram of what you'd be doing here. So it looks like it's written in Python. Printer only requires Python 2 for colored output and SNMP support, third-party modules. So you got to install some Colorama. You got to install some of those into your libraries on your machine. Running Windows, this is what you do. Usage. So these are the flags here. So help, safe, let's see. So you just put the printer. Oh, you're just running against the printer. So this is like if you have internal network access to the device, or network access to the device. Then you just do pret.py. Then you put the target printer. Looks like you put the host name. You might be able to put the IP address, but it looks like you have to print printer device or host name. You probably could just put the IP address. I think they probably meant the IP address. And then they got all these other flags for safe, verify if language is supported. That might be interesting. That might be good. Quiet. So I actually might use this on my next engagement. Let's see, suppress warnings and chit chat. Okay. Debug is to show the traffic that's going. Load and run commands from file. No, it looks like you put in the actual name of the device, laserjet.land. So you would probably have to do some additional reconnaissance before you actually know the name of the printer. Like, what is the name of the printer on the network? Okay. Oh, or you could just, looks like you could just, yeah. I'm about to download this. Because you could just run it like you can run it basic as a discovery tool. I gotta see how loud this is. Let me tell you one thing that I do before I test out tools is that I will take a tool, and this is something that I encourage you all to do too. So for Prent.py, so I would take this, run this on my network, and then at the same time, I'd have a Wireshark console to show how loud is this thing? Like, how much traffic is it injecting into the network? And if good guys, if SOC analysts or a SIM tool will be able to see it. Like, that's one thing that I typically do if I'm testing out something new. But yeah, I'm definitely going to download this so I can find all of my printers. And it tells you the status and everything. Yeah, that'd definitely help, because typically I would use like Nmap or something to find the printers on the network, but I use it in very short bursts. I use it for a very limited number of ports and protocols, so that I'm not just blasting Nmap out, so that it's very detectable. So yeah, okay, that's pretty dope. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna look at that. I'm definitely gonna use that tool. Okay. There was a test connection. Okay. Yeah, we talked about that. The word is nefarious cyber pookie. There we go. Low casts are nefarious cyber pookie. There we go. Struggle security. So he's putting this down. ISC squared. What's that? CISSP required. Okay, required. I thought that had something to do with stinging. I'm sorry. But yeah, those are requirements that he was talking about there for sure. All right, thank you, brother. I appreciate you doing anytime, man. Anytime. Doyler. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna check that out. Definitely check that out. But again, that was that article and that YouTube video that they did about a talk that I had did, which was pretty dope, about hacking printers. And we got even more information from WireDog and going into one of the GitHubs and taking a look at that. But just think about it, right? What organization have you worked for where you're thinking about monitoring printer activity? If a printer is doing anything, typically it's probably being repaired. People aren't really thinking about printers as something that they need to monitor. So I think it's really important for us to kind of branch out in our detection methodologies, and branch out in our understanding of what can be used for bad purposes within networks and environments. So yeah. On that note, let me see. That's something else I wanted to go over. Oh yeah, and I got another person that I got added to my team. So I have, as a cybersecurity manager, I have a team of people that I manage, and so I manage other consultants, and I got somebody new to my team. So that's a whole different thing, and really good, right? This is saying that I've probably done good with my previous people, so they're adding more to my plate. Now, you don't get pay increases for more people on your team, but you do get more responsibility. So I'm very happy that I'm able to be able to manage an additional member to my team, and we do assessments and testing and everything. So that's another good thing that has happened since I have been away. So moving forward, I'm looking at probably doing more of these live streams at least once a week. I want to give y'all at least one of these a week, maybe more, if my time permits. But yeah, man, thank you all for coming through. Thank you all for coming through today. And again, it's a struggle security. We are normalizing struggling in cybersecurity. I am out, and I'll see you all probably sometime next week. Most likely sometime next week. All right. Peace out.